Welcome to the Application Delivery How-To series. My name is Jimmy. Today, we'll be covering the topic of how to troubleshoot common placement issues. The first issue is unresolved networks. This is applicable to clouds in which the controller knows about all the networks, such as vCenter, AWS, and OpenStack. The message will say, no network or subnet match VS or server IP. There are a few items to check in this scenario. The first is that there are networks and subnets which cover the IPs of the VS and servers. Second, check that static routes in the VRF, if any, are configured correctly. This diagram shows an example of a correct configuration. The VIP is directly connected in network 1, whereas the backend server is routable via network 2. Third, check that the VRF of the VS and the pool matches that of the corresponding network objects. In vCenter environments, all networks are discovered automatically in the admin tenant's global VRF. If you wish to create a VS in a different VRF, it is necessary to move those networks to that VRF. Lastly, check these two cloud level flags and make sure that their values are set correctly for your configuration. So I have an example set up here in a vCenter environment where this VS has an unresolved network. We can see that this VS is in VRF1. So let's take a look at the corresponding network which matches this IP. So this is the network. We can see that currently the network is in the global VRF. So let's change it to match that of the VS. So we can see now that the VS has been placed. Another issue is when the VIP or server IPs resolve to multiple networks. In this case, the controller does not know which network to use. So this VS is having that issue currently. The VIP IP resolves to two different networks. One way to resolve this is to configure the VIP's placement network. So here we're explicitly selecting the network on which to place the VIP. So the issue has been resolved and placement is proceeding. Another issue is when the VIP or server networks are static, but there are no available static IPs. These IPs are needed for the service engine's data vNix. This VS is currently having that issue. So it says service engine requires access to network or VIP connectivity. The network is static, but there is no IP address range configured for SEs. Please configure the desired IP range and disable and enable the VS to clear the error state and bring it back up. So let's find the corresponding network for this IP. And let's add a static IP pool. We can see that the DHCP enables flag here is unchecked, meaning that this is a static network. So adding the static IP pool will not resolve the issue immediately. It is necessary to disable and enable the VS. So we see now that the issue has been resolved and placement is proceeding. That's also it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out other exciting videos in our application delivery how-to series.